first off, what are your thoughts on this series overall? Not the specific moment maybe, but
Yeah,
the Knicks as a whole, their dominance on the Spurs right now.
credit where credit is due. I think to me, I think you see an ascendant Spurs team that is really young and it's showing, and you see a more of a veteran Knicks team, right? They got guys who've been there and done that and been on in these moments before, and when push comes to shove, they're just able to step into the bigger moment, right? They don't the Spurs come out every game and punch them by 10 points. They battle back, they take the lead, and they just hold it and they finish strong. And you got to give them credit. I'm not going to go so far as to say this is one of the best teams of all time.
No.
I will say this is one of the best runs of all time. I mean, the Cavs were no pushover. They made the 76ers, who beat your Celtics, look like a JV team. I mean, you got to give them credit. I mean, I'm not saying it's the hardest schedule ever, but these guys are dominant right now.
Yeah, I mean, like statistically, this is the greatest finals run of all time. Whether you
Yeah.
believe truly in that or not, doesn't really matter. We're in an era of parity right now. No team has done back-to-back championships. No team has made it to the finals on back-to-back years in this
Since the
eight
Warriors, yeah.
8 year
Yeah.
run right now that we're on ever
Yeah.
since the 18 Warriors and whatever when the uh the I guess the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard broke that streak in 2019.
Yeah.
Everybody is so quick to write off a team if they fail or say this team's going to go back to back if they make it. Everybody takes a year to I guess, recover from their first ever playoff experience to, get that experience under their boots. And listen, everybody's saying that the Thunder have to blow it all up now and whatever. They were without their two, second and third ball handlers. They were without, like, you can say what you want about SGA being the best player in the league, or you say he underachieved because of he was not the same in the playoffs as he was
Yeah.
in the regular season. But I really thought that the Thunder would have won that series if they had those two ball handlers. The Spurs didn't look like they were quite ready in their first ever playoff experience, right? And that's no shame on the Spurs, right? Nobody's ever been able to do this. Wemby is on pace right now to, I mean, he's not there yet, but he's on that track, or at least ahead of the pace of what LeBron was doing, what Jordan
Yeah.
was doing right now, right? Nobody's been able to do this. And I think the wall has finally hit Wemby playing a 7 game series, the Knicks playing 4 games in 23 days. It's showing itself, right? And then when it comes down to, to make the final plays, it doesn't really matter how bad Jalen Brunson has been for 3.5 quarters. He's Captain Clutch. Unfortunately, he is just the best fourth quarter scorer in the NBA right now.
Yeah. I think that's all right. And look, I think the Spurs are just really, really young. I think the risk, you look at the Thunder, there's a lot of um win and then total disaster, right? So you talked about that Raptors team. What happened after they won? Off a cliff, basically,
Hmm.
right? What's
Well,
happened to the
they traded Kawhi to the
Sure,
Clippers,
sure, but what happened to the Bucks
right?
after they won?
Hmm.
They're now a mediocre team, and Giannis is leaving. The Celtics are, frankly, a mediocre team. Now they got rid of a lot of their guys, but there's
Yeah.
there's this stress. I think the teams that are younger, the Thunder and the Spurs and those guys, they're going to have good long runs. If I were the Spurs right now, I would want to add a veteran presence this offseason. That's what I
See,
would.
yes, I want to. I've been saying this for the last couple of days, and everybody seems to be on the same page. And I'll tell you and see if you agree with that in 1 second. Quite frankly, I think they have enough veteran presence. De'Aaron Fox had a great bounce back game after his poor performance in game one. Right, he goes from scoring 7 points to scoring 20 points. He was fine. Harrison Barnes is providing that sort of presence off the bench. You have Luke Cornett, you have Kelly Olynyk, you have veterans. Quite frankly, I think this series comes down to the fact that Wemby averaged 28 minutes a game in the regular season compared to stars around the league averaging 35. He's
Yeah.
not conditioned enough to then jump right up to playing 40 minutes a night. And quite honestly, if Jalen Brunson isn't having a good game, Karl-Anthony Towns could step up, and vice versa. The Spurs have to get a dominant performance from Wemby. The Knicks have two guys that can beat you. The
Yeah,
Spurs really only have one, and I love what Dylan Harper is doing. He's going to be an All NBA guard in this league, right?
awesome.
He's fantastic, but he's still only 20 years old. You can't
Yeah.
get expect him to drop 30 points a night, whereas Brunson and Cat are both dropping 30 points for you on the other side. So that's the difference in this series, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
you need Wemby to be Wemby every night. Like you can't
Mm.
take a night off or you can't win. And then you need a Castle, a Harbor. You need one of those guys to drop 26,
But it's
28.
but you look at Wemby's box score and he's scoring 26, 20,
But I
30
actually think
points. He's not been good.
you
Like,
tell me if you agree with this. Um, I think Wemby needs to finish better. He has
mm,
way too many just, putbacks or layups that he misses.
so
He
that's
just,
where I think he's just exhausted. I think that's what it is.
you
He's
think so?
not he doesn't have that when you get
He
fatigued
wasn't
and
ready to
whatever.
play 104 games or
Right,
whatever, right?
exactly, right? And right, I'm not you can't shame the coaching staff for that, right? He's coming off of
Injury.
the
Yeah.
the blood clots and whatever and injuries,
Yeah.
right? So it makes sense that they're um sort of going light with him in the regular season. But that's something for next season. How do you work him
Yeah.
up to playing 35, 40 minutes a night by the time the playoffs roll around? One other thing on this, and this doesn't have anything to do with him being tired, right? He's a center. He's not a point guard. A
Right.
point guard, and even Cat to a little bit of a degree, right? He's less, right? He's sort of in between Wemby and Jalen Brunson. But those two guys, and specifically Jalen Brunson, as the ball dominant, superstar on the team, but as a point guard, he's able to get to wherever he wants on the court, and it's just a matter of whether he makes the shot or not. Wemby is not going to dribble the ball up and create a shot for himself. Someone else has to do it for him, right? Someone else has to find him the ball.
Yeah.
And with a team that doesn't have a superstar point guard now, Fox is fine, right? They have a lot of great talented guys,
Yeah.
but they don't have a guy that is doing everything for them all the time and running the offense, right? And that's the
Well,
difference. And the Spurs are never going to get that guy because they went the Wemby direction, right? They went with right the superstar, which means Wemby obviously he's going to have to get better, but you're going to have to find a way to get him more open shots, better shots. And I think Wemby's settling a lot for threes because he's tired and it's a lot easier to just stand around and shoot a three than dive into the paint. But
I
that's
mean,
just my
I
opinion.
think I wonder if there's a parallel here. I mean, this is a Celtic show, though. Of course, we talk about lots of stuff. I feel like there's a Kristaps Porzingis parallel here, right? Which is
Hmm.
you're asking Wemby to do it all for 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
And the reason why the Celtics now they had talent out the wazoo, but you need him to maybe he's on the court 35 minutes a game or whatever, but he has to do less when he's on the court. He
Hmm.
has to be able to be, 60-40 defense versus offense instead of 60-60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or something, right? And
Right.
if you had that Tatum on the wing, if you had that next level, no, real number two, I think that would really take pressure off him, right? Because like, hey, we got a 6'10" wing we got to deal with, right? What are we gonna do with that? And they just don't have, I mean, they got great talent, but do you think about if you run it back, I'm not sure it's enough. Do you
See,
drop one of those? Do you trade a Fox? Do you trade a Castle? Do you trade one of those guys in a pick and try and get that real number two? Like so you have like the Brunson and the Cat, that
yeah,
kind of model.
I'm under the belief that De'Aaron Fox was just brought in to be that sort of stopgap and accelerate Wemby's development. Once Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle develop more, I think you have a number two there, or at
Yeah,
least
man.
a number two and a number three that are close, or two number threes that are can get you 25 points a night. So I don't think you have the problem there. Quite honestly, like as much as like we don't want to, you want to give credit to the Knicks and they've been fantastic. I really do believe that this series is just coming down to fatigue and playing, 40 extra games compared to what the Knicks
Yeah,
are going through.
yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I do. I actually think, and you can't take credit away from the Knicks.
Right.
The Celtics, the Spurs definitely should have won last night. And they probably should
100%.
have won. And they probably should have won the first, or could have won the first game. These games, they're
It's
just not
experience,
finishing.
it's experience level and fatigue, right? They're not knocking down the shots. They're not able to get out to leads because of the fatigue factor. But then when it comes to a crunch time game, it's the
Yeah.
experience level, right? You have that adrenaline in the clutch time moment. It's not like you're like what you get up for the last 5 minutes of a game. So I'm not marking that part of the game to fatigue, right?
Yeah.
It's the bulk of the game where you're not, you're giving up easy dunks and whatever that's
I
stopping
want
your
to
ability to
I
get
want
into
to I want to
games.
draw our attention to something else again because as we know, all roads lead back to Boston and the city champions and the Celtics. I'm a little disappointed in Luke Cornett's series.
Oh yes,
He
yes.
he needs to be giving them 18 or 20 strong minutes,
And he
and
has
he's
to because
not.
Wemby can't
He can't,
play.
and he's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
He's
I mean,
not. He's
listen,
given them 10, and he's not last year's Luke Cornett or 2 years ago. Like,
yeah,
and that's what if he had that, I really think that also would make a big difference.
I
If
agree.
they could spell him and he could be Wemby could be doing 32 minutes a game,
I mean,
but Cornett is out there battling and hacking and bumping.
Cornette, right? Cornette. I mean, Cornette did have a nice little rebound that should have given the
Yeah.
Spurs that chance. I mean, he did kick the
A
ball.
little
I don't know if
kickball,
you
but
saw that, but
little
yeah,
kick.
whatever.
Yeah.
Gotta play within the rules. Uh, I really do think that. I mean, Brunson's eyes just light up every time he sees Luke Cornette on the court. He just goes right at him. And listen, Cornette's not having a great series, but I don't think it really matters what Cornette is doing. You're losing the minutes with Wemby on the floor. That's not a possibility. Like, I don't
Right.
know if you saw, I think this was in was this in game one? Or maybe it was game two. I forget which game it was now. But Cat gets into foul trouble. I think this was last night, right? Cat gets into foul trouble within like midway through the third quarter, whatever. He has
Yeah.
4 fouls and he has to come out. Brunson's also on the bench. It's Wemby out there and nobody for the Knicks.
You got
And
to
the
be plus
Knicks,
minus plus 20 on that, right?
yeah, and the Knicks win those minutes with
Yeah.
it's not even you should
But
all you
this is
should
why I say it's a
all
Cornet issue. This is why
yeah,
going back to Cornet, because if Wemby is able to rest more, if Cornet is giving you those 5 minutes a quarter,
right. Then
then when
he's
Wemby get to that third
right,
quarter, he is going up eight on an 8-0 run or a ten
right.
two run.
And you give
But
a
he's
lot of
also got to pace himself. He's like, I got a whole nother quarter, and God forbid we go to overtime.
right. I
So
mean, give
I think
credit to them for making that comeback in the end, but
100%.
yeah.
Like
Which
the
is why
Spurs,
like right, you look at the series and they're down 2-0 and it's going to be I mean, it's going to be a nightmare in New York City. I don't know how they're going to deal
no
with
team has ever come back. No team
from
has
2-0.
ever come
Oh,
back
from losing the first two at home, right.
at home.
Yeah.
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 Now, I think
But
if I
listen,
think
they're
if the
not
Spurs go in,
far out of this, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's gonna be hard to play in New York City, and it's the
yeah,
crowd's gonna be wild and whatever. We'll see what happens.
I feel like San Antonio feels like New York City. So,
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
yeah,
by the way, can we just, as I would just like to make a comment to all our fans out there. If any of you folks are either in Oklahoma City, or you're in San Antonio, like we need better cheers and we need better fan spirit.
Oh,
We
not in
cannot
San
have
Antonio. Have you seen the Jackals? Have you seen
we
this?
cannot have "Go Spurs Go" as our best chant. We can't have that. This is not. It's just not okay. Like
Oh,
in
okay. Well,
OKC, we can't have the
oh, the little golf clap.
yeah. Like we need passion. Now, as you know, Boston fans are voted by a wide margin
As the rowdiest fans in.
as the most hated, least good fans in the country by almost double the next.
Well,
So
that just shows where we are on the totem pole right now.
I mean, I just say like you got to do better than "Go Spurs Go." I can't do it anymore.
Well,
So,
the Spurs, Wemby actually, everybody's talking about this on the national media side, but Wemby is trying to create this like European soccer vibe to it, and he has this section right now that they there's like a section now. They're trying to make it the whole stadium, but whatever. It's like a membership, whatever, and you get to be part of this group called the Jackals, and they're
uh,
like this thing that they're like the rowdy guys that bring the drums and music at soccer games. So they
yeah,
bring
yeah.
it. They're allowed.
I,
They're the only people that are allowed to bring drums and music and stuff to the NBA game. And the two guys like that are the heads of that have
yeah.
mics or sorry headphones, and they get to listen in to the director, the arena director. So not the announcers, but like the system,
So they're like,
the
hey,
man.
get cued for rowdiness or something.
Exactly,
Or
like, and so
I
like
love
the
that.
in-camera stuff, they or like the in-arena camera and audio, they can turn to them and they can do certain things. So Wemby's
Oh,
trying to create that, and
I
it's a
lo-
little section right now, and he's making it into a bigger
I didn't
section.
realize that. I like that a lot. We actually have, as you know, probably we have the same section in Boston. It's called TD Garden.
Yeah, the
But
the entire.
but I do like that. I do think we need more fun with this. Like you and I went to the World Baseball Classic. We've been to a lot of games at Fenway. The World Baseball Classic was so much more
Oh, it
fun
was
than it
fantastic.
was the drums and the Latins and the music and
Hmm.
the Japanese were going crazy. It was just fun.
Hmm.
And we need that. Although I will say, like I know you've been also watching a little bit of playoff hockey. We actually have two great series going on right now.
Hmm.
That
Well,
I would say there were two plays that saved those series.
the
The overtime.
non-penalty call or the
Oh
non-goal
yeah,
call.
yeah,
Yeah, well,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. The that play, the challenge, and then the penalty and the score by the
Such a
Hurricane.
by the way, terrible rule in the playoffs. I mean, come on, you're not going to give a team like it basically prohibits a team from challenging because of the risk of you like get rid of that rule in overtime or in the playoffs. Like that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, but that one play and challenge, and Wemby's one just unlucky miscue, and that totally
Sort of his
changed.
his controller just blinked for a second or like
Yeah,
froze for a
yeah,
second. I don't know what.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah. The
mean,
Wi-Fi glitched.
yeah,
And,
that's what it looked like. I mean,
yeah,
because Stephon was looking at him when he
and
started
then
to
he
throw it up,
turned and
and
he
then he
passed.
turns and he throws it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But I just think those two plays, again,
I
it's
mean,
why we
just
love
just call
sport.
timeout in that situation every time. Like, I know you have a fast break and whatever, but I think it's always safer to try and run an actual
You
play.
got like 8 seconds or something, 7.5
Right, but
seconds.
they
Like,
think they have a 2-on-1 or something in transition.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, just whatever. Just call a timeout there, reset it, and whatever. And it was a great shot I thought that they got at the end, right? It's not like you
Wasn't
can't blame
horrible.
that possession. Like they got a good
No.
shot that Wemby, knocks down a good percentage of the time. So, you're
Yeah.
not mad about that shot. The problems came earlier in that game.
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. But
One
we got
last
two great series,
yeah,
and we'll see
yeah.
who comes out.
One last thing on this series, and then I want to talk a little bit of Celtics.
Yeah.
Um, Landry Shamet, a guy that wasn't even, on the team at the start of the season, a guy that, the Knicks just bring in, they can cut him at any time, not a guaranteed contract by any means, and he's shooting 46% in the playoffs from three. Hits another big couple of threes in that game. He cannot miss right now, and it allows the Knicks
Filthy.
just to play five
Filthy.
out offense and Wemby come out and guard.
He's the Kike Hernandez of this season's NBA playoffs,
Right.
right? Like, just,
Just, I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
wasn't even on a guaranteed contract
yeah.
in training camp.
Nope.
So, but you know what? Good for him because
Yeah.
that's his hard work. Good for the coaching staff. You got to give
Mhm.
credit to coaching on that, where it's like develop the guy. You found a guy, you found a role, and so he stepped into it.
Okay.
But like
Here's
that's
the
coaching.
here's the final question.
Yeah,
Would the Knicks be here with Tom Thibodeau?
that's a great question.
I have my
I have
answer.
no idea. I have
Yeah.
no idea. What do you think?
I say no. I think the way
Think
Mike
no?
Brown has been able to get Karl-Anthony Towns to buy into his sort of second tier role almost to get all this bench production that obviously Tom Thibodeau wouldn't even look at for
Yeah,
stretches of
true.
games.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now that you say it out loud, I agree with you. I think the answer is no. I'll tell you the other thing that you're really good point about Cat, which is Brunson is the face of the team,
Hmm.
and everybody's okay with that.